Yes, people, how's it going? Welcome back to Lily White Lane. Hope you're doing good. I hope you're keeping safe and well, and hope you're having a fantastic and phenomenal week and Thursday. We're here today to bring to you guys your latest Tottenham Hotspur transfer rumours and reports, and the headlines today is that Tottenham have finally made a bid. We know that around January time, whenever this window comes about, whilst other clubs take action, Tottenham end up being linked with every single player in Europe and not really putting in any bids. But we have put in a bid. We've put in a bid before the January transfer window has started. And this is a bid I like. I think it could be some very smart business, to be fair, if we get this deal over the line. And this deal is Franck Kessie. Tottenham Hotspur have put in a 15 million bid. Yes, 15 million. Some people might say that's a bit low. I'll explain to you why I think that's a reasonable offer for him in a minute. But the Barcelona midfielder, as I say, hasn't worked out for him at Barcelona. Really was brilliant at AC Milan. And now Tottenham are being linked with him. Tottenham have put in a 15 million bid for the midfielder. Now, usually, like I say, it's Tottenham being linked with every player in Europe and not putting in any bids. But we have put in a bid. We've put in an offer for him. And this is one of those transfers where I don't understand the whole fan base going, oh, he's not good enough, oh, this, that. It seems like the whole fan base doesn't like any link to any player in the world. And I understand that every January we get linked with about 100 players and sign one or two of them, but it seems like every player we go for, whether it's Conte or Levy who are going for them, the fan base, completely shuts it down and says it's a bad move. Kessie coming to Spurs has Conte written all over it. Conte knows him from Italy. Conte knows he's sort of like a proper hold-up, strong midfielder, or was in Italy. We'll get to that in a second, what he's been like at Barca. Works in a midfield too, in that sort of 3-4-3 formation. I think it's got a Conte transfer written all over it. And I think this could be a very, very good deal. I think if Kessie came to Spurs, it would be to be a starter. I think it would be him and Bentancur and potentially Højbjerg and, Bissouma on the bench, or swap those around. Then you've got four quality midfield options, and that area of the pitch is sorted. Now, in my opinion, I'd prefer to start looking at a right wing back or a centre back first. But Conte himself, and we've got to back the manager as fans, Conte himself has come out and said, and I think a lot of people got the wrong message for this, that he wants to, not create such a bloated squad and wants to change around some players. People thought that meant not signing players. What he means is replacing players. What he means is replacing players such as Oliver Skipp for a Franck Kessie, potentially an Emerson Royal for a Pedro Porro. And I think that's a smart transfer strategy, and it'll all come to Daniel Levy. You guys know my opinion on Daniel Leakey. You guys know my opinion on Daniel Levy and ENIC. I'm not the biggest fan. Let's leave it at that. This is a transfer video. I'll make separate videos, talking about them and my opinions on them. But this deal will all come down to Daniel Levy and ENIC, whether they're willing to, pay a little bit more if Barcelona asks for a little bit more. But I think this deal would be a very, very good one. I think you're looking at Franck Kessie as a football player. Crucial part in AC Milan's Scudetto win. They truly were. Franck Kessie, for me, was player of the season last season for AC Milan when they went on to win Serie A. I thought he was excellent. I thought he was excellent the season before. He was a constant in that team. Played something stupid like 37 out of 38 games in Serie A, and he was absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And people who, won't read into it too much will go, oh, he's flopped at Barcelona. For a number of reasons. The type of player Franck Kessie is, he's a proper muscly, strong, defensive midfielder who gets stuck in, covers a lot of ground, Very similar to Højbjerg in a way, but better in my opinion. Hard to break down, does his job defensively, pushes on forward, brilliantly. And he went to Barcelona on a free transfer. He decided to run his contract down at AC Milan, went there. And they tried to turn him into a player he wasn't. Xavi likes to play tiki-taka, quick, fast attacking football. Franck Kessie wasn't used to that sort of football. He's used to playing in the sort of systems that an Inzaghi or an Antonio Conte would sort of play, the Italian style of play. And he went to play under Xavi at Barcelona, and he tried to turn him into a player he's not. He tried to make him lose all his muscle and strength, which is a big part of his game. Tried to make him more quick-footed and able to play tiki-taka football. And it hasn't really worked out, understandably so, because that's not the player Franck Kessie is. It really isn't. And I think if Spurs can bring him in, you know, we turn him back into the player he was at AC Milan, that sort of strong holding midfielder who covers ground. And I think he'd really, really work under Conte. So we'll wait and see what happens with this. We'll wait and see what Enoch and Levy decide to do. But as I say, I think this could be a really, really positive transfer. I don't see what's really wrong with it. People might say 50 million's a bit low, but when you consider he went to Barcelona on a free, you know, they're not playing him at all this season. They're making a profit in 15 million off a player who they're not using and got for free. So, you know, overall it's a gain for Barcelona no matter what the price tag is. 15 million offer, I think it could be smart business. But when it will start getting interested in is if Barcelona push for that extra 18, 19 million. And like Levy did with Traore, you know, an extra 2 million, he turned it down, and we get that same sort of stingy, tight side of Daniel Levy not willing to pay the extra few million to sign a player. But I'm not going to talk about that because that hasn't happened yet, and I'm not going to delve too much into Enoch and Levy, as I say, because I will leave that for a separate video, and I'll leave that for separate videos. We'll talk a lot about them in January, I'm sure. I've already made a video on them now. Look, comment your thoughts on this deal. Do you like the idea of Franck Kessie coming to Spurs? Or do you think he's flopped to Barcelona and will not work under Antonio Conte? Thank you for watching this video. Make sure you have a smashing and fantastic week and new year. We'll be back on the channel, as I say, to report any more breaking news, transfer news throughout January, as I say. And obviously, we'll be bringing to you guys a match reaction after the Aston Villa game. Big weekend of football coming up. Spurs in need of 3 points when you consider we've got Arsenal and Man City twice in January to play. We'll wait and see what happens. Enjoy the weekend of football. Enjoy your week. And as always, come on you Spurs. In Conte, we trust.